Okay, today is going to be the start of our week 14 lab exercises. And the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to get away from the book a little bit. And this is where we left off last week, week 13. Go into floor plan level 1. And we're going to look at our building here. I'm going to minimize my ceiling plan so I don't accidentally get in there. And I'm just going to select my outside wall here. And I want to do something with this, and I'm going to show you why. If I look at, well, let's create a section view through here. That'll be the easiest way to show it to you. So go to View, Section View, and I'm just going to draw, oops, it's not showing up. So type VV, we left this that way the last time, and go to Annotation and Categories. Go down and make sure that section is turned on. Hit OK. Now we can go to View, Section. And we're just going to place a building section right through here. And we'll bring it just to the inside. We just want to see this wall section. So once you create this, it actually shows up down here as a section right here. And we'll give it a name. Through wall. We'll say exterior wall section. Hit OK. Now if we just double click on this, we can see there's our wall section. And we're going to give it a new scale. We're going to give it a scale of 1.5 inches equals a foot. So you'll see that these become much smaller, which is fine. And we're going to zoom in here. And what we want to do is look at this in a fine detail so that we can see we've got a layer of brick on the outside, gypsum wall board and airspace, the studs, and then interior wall board. This is actually plywood on the outside. If I click on the bottom of this, you'll notice everything is locked together. And what I want to do is be able to just bring the brick down to about this level and extend the floor line out. So to do that, we actually need to go in and do a little bit of editing on the floor, on the wall itself. So click on that wall, and we're just going to say Edit Type. We're not going to make any changes to the description or duplicate it or anything like that. We're just going to say Edit. And we're going to move this over a little bit and select Preview. And right now it's in a plan view, so we can see our interior gypboard, our stud, our plywood, our airspace, and our brick. Change this to a section view. And we're going to, section view. Click in the room and then zoom into this bottom view. And we're going to select Modify. Now when you select Modify, you'll notice when I select this, it's locked. We're going to select the brick, and we're just going to unlock it. That's all we need to do. Hit OK. Hit OK again. I don't think we need to hit Apply, but we'll go ahead and do it anyway. Now you'll see when we select this, our brick and our walls are separated. So we can actually drag our wall down, and I want to drag this down so it gives, you'll notice this base extension now is at -1 foot 0 5/8, and that's the distance that I pulled that down. I'm going to actually set it to -1 foot 3/4 of an inch, and that sets it up. Okay, so now if we go to our floor plan 1, and I'm going to select my outside wall, I'm going to hit my right mouse button and say select all instances in entire project. So it selects all of my walls, and you can see that I have this base extension now, and I'm going to type in -1 foot 0 3/4 inches and hit Apply. Unselect it. If we go and look in our 3D view now, you'll notice that our foundation wall is extending down below, and we can actually see it in our end wall here. So now we have this brick down below the wall, and our floor is leaving a gap. So what we want to do now is bring that floor over to the start of the airspace between that and the brick. So let's go to our east elevation. Actually, we can do this in our floor plan. We'll get that done first. So we're going to select our floor, okay, and then we're going to say edit boundary. So it just shows up with these purple lines. I'm going to zoom right in, and I want to take that boundary and I'm going to move it line by line to the face of that plywood. Just do it each. It's going to take a little bit of doing, and don't be afraid to zoom in on it, because sometimes it doesn't want to stick to that unless you get right in on top of it. So just follow our way around. Oops. And although it's a little tedious, it will make our project that much better. Yep, there's the one I was looking for. Using that mouse to roll in and out is helpful sometimes. And pan it down. Oh yeah, this one goes. So if you have trouble getting it to stick, just zoom in a little bit and it'll make it easier for you to find that location. The glass wall will leave the way it is. And we'll just grab this one. And bring that one in. Almost done. Oops, missed it. There, I'm back to the beginning. I think I got them all. Just left click, and now we'll hit our check mark and just say yes. Now if we go to that 3D view again, you'll notice now that our floor is extended over and we're just left with this air gap that allows water to get down between the brick and the outside wall. I mean, it's not a typical layout, but it works. Now let's go to our east elevation, and we can see now that our floor is extended out to our brick, and what we're going to add is a foundation in here now. So when we get ready to do our site work, we'll be able to utilize that foundation as a base for our site work and grading. So we're going to add a couple new levels. We'll go to architecture, set level, and I'm not even going to be too concerned where I place these to start with. Just bring them over, and one more right here. So these are actually below grade. We'll move in. We know that we dropped that down 1 foot 0 3/4 inches. That brings it up a little bit. Now when you see your text is kind of lined up like this, you can actually move it out of the way by just selecting it, hitting this little zigzag line, and it'll kind of drop things down for you. We'll just leave it like that. I think that's okay. All right, and actually if I select that, let me just see if I can select it, unlock it, then I can bring this out and bring this back in. Trying to get it so I can get that text to go on the other side of the line. I guess the only way to do that is to bring this down to here like that. That looks better. So we're going to rename this one. This one's going to be top of foundation wall. Rename the corresponding view. Well, it's not good. Let's abbreviate it a little bit about top of found wall. Yes, that looks better. And this one will be bottom of foundation wall. I'll use BTM of, there we go. Yes. And this one will be -6 foot, 0 3/4 inches. So that's going to bring that up a little bit. Okay. Just kind of line those up a little bit. This probably should have been a hidden line. So now we can see, there's our section, where those are located. So what we're going to do now is actually create a foundation wall. So let's go to the bottom of our foundation wall, and let's turn on an overlay, or excuse me, underlay of a floor plan level 1. So now we can see where that's located. Make sure we're not in ceiling plan, and we're going to go to wall. We may have to make some adjustments here, but we're going to select for our wall a 12-inch thick foundation, concrete. And we want to use the face of wall as our alignment. So if I just, let me just try this one. It says it can't see it. So let's go check our view range. Oops, got to get out of that one there. Go back to the floor plan. View range. This one, we'll make that one 0. And 0. This is bottom of foundation wall. View depth. I always get this mixed up here. Associated top of foundation wall. See if that works. So we went top of foundation wall is the top. It's going to be set at 4 feet for our cut plane. Bottom of foundation wall here. And we'll just say apply and OK. Now let's see if we can lay our wall in here. Still on the face of the wall. And it says overlapping. So let's go to our east elevation. There's our wall. There. If we bring that up to the top and bring this one up to the bottom, that's where it's supposed to be. Whoops. We got 2 walls on there. There we go. This is the wall we want. So let's select that. And we can see that location line is finish face exterior. Bottom constraint is bottom of foundation wall. Top constraint is bottom of foundation wall. And our top offset height is 5 feet. So let's see if we can do that and make it work. Go back to our bottom of foundation wall floor plan. There's our wall that we just created. And what we'll do is our wall tool. Oops. What did I do? I turned off my properties. There we go. So we're in our wall, bottom foundation. This is going to be set to 0. Top offset is going to be at 5 feet. Hit apply. So now it matches what we just created. So both of these are set to bottom of foundation wall with a 5-foot offset. So now if we just place our wall around here, we go all the way around the building. It bugged me a little bit in the textbook that they didn't actually have a section on putting a foundation in here, so we did it ourselves. Escape twice. Now when we go look at our 3D view, we're able to see our foundation wall underneath our building. And our brick extends down below the bottom of the line here so that everything looks nice and neat. Okay? Let's go look at our section view now. And this week we're going to be talking about details. So let's look at that section that we created called exterior wall section. Here it is. Now we can see our foundation wall in here. We'll extend this down to the bottom so that we can actually see where that ends up. And we'll adjust this in a little bit. And some of the stuff we don't need. There's our ceiling and our floor. I'm just going to do a section of the bottom corner down here. Yeah. Okay. So some of this we want to maybe put some dimensions on. And we're going to put some, if we go to our annotation tool, we can add some keynotes. Let's try a couple of these different ones. Element keynote. Let's click on this one. And if I just select my piece of sheetrock and come over here, you can see that it's looking for me to tell it what it wants. And we're going to go to Division 9. Now this is what we call CSI divisions. Every time we have a set of drawings, we also have a set of written specifications. So we'll open this up and we'll go down to gypsum board and we'll go to 5/8 inch gypboard, gypsum wall board. We can say let's try D2, hit OK, and it's actually going to give me that note of the CSI specification. If I left click on it. Now let's try another one. Go back to our annotate. We'll go to keynote. This time will be a user keynote. So we'll put a keynote right on this material. And this time we'll go to finishes. And we want we use tile in there, so we got wall or floor covering. See if I can find tiling. No, that's ceramic tile. Resilient flooring. We want vinyl composition tile. Hit OK. And that'll place that note right in there. So some of this stuff is identifiable, some isn't. We'll just put a couple notes in there to take care of that. So we don't have a lot of detail in this one anyway. It's just kind of a cross section, but we'll use it And again, we can put some detail, some align dimensions. We can go from wall faces. So if I put a dimension here and hit escape, no, I gotta hit enter one more time, sorry. Now hit escape. You notice this is kind of hard to read. Hit escape twice and you take this little blue dot and you can pull the dimension outside of the dimension area. Now when we want to do the brick, we can't have interior to exterior face wall, so we have to use our linear dimension. In this case, we want this point to this point, and we'll bring that up. And again, hit escape. If we select it, we can pull the number outside the hatched area so it's easier to read. That's just typical of what we can do. If we just want to place a note on this, I know there's a way, tag by category. No, that's a, I want to find the right one. I think this is going to go. So we got a material tag here, cast in place concrete, and this is free end. I just put it out here. There we go. So again, it takes, let's see if we can material tag some other stuff. Wood framing, so it's picking up all of that information. Oops, not sure why that didn't left justify. I can pull it out this way maybe. There we go. So some of this stuff you may have to play around with a little bit. Up here, we'll material tag this. So all of this can get tag all. I don't want to mess with that, I guess. Let's try the brick. Common brick. Leader tags. I haven't played around with this too much, but yeah, I want to definitely put a leader on here. It's just a good way to tag some of this stuff. Some of these things we can pull them down a little tighter. We can save some real estate. We'll bring this in. You notice it brings in the levels with it. So we'll just kind of leave that the way it is, and we'll use that as a detail on our detail sheet. So kind of play around with that a little bit. It doesn't have to look exactly like mine does. This one I don't like the looks of, so I'm going to just bring this leader line over. There. Well, shoot, what happened? Material tag. Oh, get the leader turned off. Just delete it then. Material tag with a leader. There we go. Get an extra one there. So all that stuff's pretty easy to do. You can, I don't know whether you can, if we can edit the text. I guess you can do it here if you wanted to, but I'm just going to say you wanted to add any additional text, I'm sure there's ways to do it in here. Let's leave this one the way it is. Let's put a dimension. Well, actually, we don't need one because we have our layers. We can tell what the elevation difference is between the height of the foundation. Let's put a dimension for our wood. So I'll just go to my dimensioning tool. We want to go linear, and I want to go from this point to this point. Whoops, not going to let me. Let's try it this way. This point to this point then. 11 7/8. And let's try from this point to this point. And again, you might want to take your dimension and just bring it to the outside. That's probably enough for this one. I don't want to drag it too far. So let's just do a file save while we're at it. And now we're going to get back into the book. So we've got our foundation, and just a reminder that this week coming, week 14, is our last full week of lab. The following week we will have lab on Monday. Wednesday's lab is on main day, so it's in the afternoon, 3 o'clock. I'm going to make it, I'm going to have a video for it, so it is voluntary if you want to come in and get some help or have me go through this exercise with you. So I can do that or not, depending on, but I will be in the classroom on Wednesday. The following week is finals week, and of course next week we're going to have a final project, which will be perspectives from both inside and outside. We're going to get this details taken care of first, and then we'll move on to perspective. And I may start that, I should start that this week also. So the next thing we're going to do is, let's go back into our floor plan level 1, just to give us a place to start. And I'm going to move on to section, I want to make sure I get to the right spot here. I'm going to move to chapter 8, I believe. And we're going to create another detail. We're going to do 3 details. We've done our section. Now we're going to do a detail view of a wall section using some files that are already in Revit. So what we want to do, first of all, is we're going to create a detail. We're going to go to our View ribbon, and we are going to go to Drafting View. So you're going to click on Drafting View. And we're going to give this drafting view a name. We're going to call it Head Detail hyphen Single Flush Door. Should make it all capital. Flush Door. Whoops. D-O-O-R. There we go. It is going to be an 1.5 to 1 foot scale. And just say OK. And what we end up with is a blank drawing form here. So we're going to actually add some files now to this detail. So we want to go to our Load Family. So go to the Insert tool, go to Load Family. We're going to go to Detail Items. The first thing we want is a gypsum wallboard section. So gypsum wallboard is under the Finishes section under Division 9 for the Construction Specification Institute, and it would be 09250. So 09, there's 09200, and there's 092,900 gypsum board, and what we want is this one right here, gypsum wallboard section, and just say Open. Now we're going to load the family again. This time we're looking for C-studs. So this is going to be under Detail Items, Metals. We're looking under section 054. So there's cold formed metal framing. So 054,000 would where it be located. Maybe not. 054,100. Structural metal studs, and we want a C-stud section. So just double click on that one, Now we're going to load the family again. This time we're looking for wood door frame section. So we're going to look under section 082. So go to detail items. Section 8 is doors. We're going to look under 082. And I think it's under wood doors. We want wood door frame section. So just double click on that one. And let's see, what else do we need? We are going to load up from the book, which I'll put in Blackboard. It'll be there. We're going to load family. We want to load from our, go to desktop, in my case desktop. I'm looking under CSI 101 families, and we have a spot elevation right aligned, and just say open that. So we have it. So the first thing we're going to do is go back to our detail component. So we're going back to annotate. Get in the right spot here. Annotate ribbon, and we want component right here. Just click component. We're going to select gypsum wallboard 5/8. So these are all the things we just loaded up. There's different thicknesses, so we want 5/8 sheetrock. And we're just going to draw a vertical line straight down, and I'll only come down maybe 1.5 feet or so. And then do another one right next to it. Okay, 2 layers of 5/8 sheetrock on one side. You can see it in the book. Now we're going to add a C-stud. So we're going to come in here and look under our C-stud section, and we want the 2.5 inch C-stud. Again, so we'll start right up here at the top and pull that. Whoops, I do grab section. Oh, we want the side view, C-stud side. So we got to go load. I got the wrong one, so sorry about that. I did section instead of side. So we'll go to our component, load family, go to details, metals. That one was the one, C-stud side. Sorry about that. Now we got it, I think. Now a joist, what am I doing? Load family, detail items, metals, metal studs, C-stud side. There. Now we'll change this to a 2.5 inch C-stud side. If you read the book, you're all set. So bring it right down to the bottom. So that's our C-stud side. And you see I got them out of line a little bit, so I just want this to be my line, and that'll bring everything down so that they're lined up. Now we got 2 more layers of sheetrock. So we're going to go back to our insert, our annotate component. We're going to grab our sheetrock again. So I got more stuff in here and I know what to do with. There we go. And this one we'll just draw a line straight down and another line straight down. That gives us our 2 layers of sheetrock. Now we're going to add another detail. We're going to put some Roughcut Lumber in here. So we need to add Roughcut Lumber section. So we'll go to load family, go to detail items. We're going to go to wood, and we want wood framing. I believe it's 61100. Roughcut section. Make sure I get the section this time. Hit open, and we want the 2x3. Hit OK, and there it is right on my cursor. I'm just going to place one here, and we're going to place one right on top of it, just like that. Oops, there. One extra, and just delete that. So this is basically our header piece for our door. Now, the next thing we're going to do is put in a section that indicates the wood door frame section. So we'll just go up here to Component. We're going to look for our wood frame door section. There's only one here. It's 4 3/4. And we're just going to place that about center on that outside piece of sheetrock. Hit Escape. Now we have to draw a piece to indicate the door panel. So we're going to select the filled region. So right here under region, say filled region, and for this, if you drop it down, we're going to select wood 1, and we're going to create a rectangular shape. And I'm just going to start right here, and we'll just draw a rectangular shape that's going to indicate the door panel. Draw the rectangle, hit the green check, and you'll see what that does is it puts that wood cross grain on there as a detail. Now we're going to add the break lines. So if we go to Component, we're looking for a break line. We need to go find that. So it's under the Details items under Division 1 General. There's a break line. Just double click it. So we're going to put a break line up here on the top, say about here. What that does is it eliminates a lot of the stuff. Now I'm going to put one down here too. And you see what happens with that one? It's kind of messed up because it's on the wrong side. So just select it, use our rotate tool, and we're going to rotate that 180 degrees. And then we'll move this bottom down, move the top down. Whoops, not that way. This way, use this one. Well, I'll just move it down this way then, that's easier. There we go. So now we've got them both in there. And now we're going to add, I think I need to bring this down just a little more, about to here. Good. We're going to add our spot elevation. So in our properties, we're going to select the symbol, and we've already loaded the spot elevation, so I'm just going to place that, just place it right here, hit Escape, and then we can use our, we should be able to select this, and I want to line it up with the bottom of this header to that piece, so that lines it up perfectly, the door head. Okay, so now what we can do is start adding some details here. So if we want to put a, go back to our annotate, and we want to put a material tag, and we don't know what that is. But annotate. Let's just add a keynote then. We'll go to Element Keynote. So it's going to actually lay out our spec sections on here. And this will be enough. And you can see each time I grab these, it's going to put the different CSI specification on it for the particular item that we grabbed. And this one is 08, so section 8, which is wood. And we want this one. And we'll just leave that one the way it is. So we'll just do a file, save. Down here under Details, Drafting Views, Detail, there's our head detail single flush door. So we'll just leave that one the way it is. That's all set. And now we're going to go to importing. We've already got a call out, so we're going to move forward to importing a detail view. And again, this is on Blackboard. I've placed the detail up there so we can download the curtain wall head detail. So what we're going to do is go to level 1, back up here in our properties to floor plan level 1 just to start out, and we are going to go to insert from file. From the insert menu, we're going to say insert from file, insert views from file, and we're going to go to our desktop. I'm going to go to my CIE 101 home, my families, and there's a curtain wall head detail. Just say open, and we're going to put it in our drafting views and just say OK, and just say OK on the color. Don't worry about that. On page 8-46 now. And let's go down to that detail right here. You can see it came in as an AutoCAD, so it's under drafting views, ARCXL. So that'll work. So now let's put it all together. Let's go to our view sheets. We're going to right click on this one and say new sheet. We're going to use the same sheet we've been using right along, and it brings up our new sheet. We're going to rename this one. This one's going to be called A104 Details. Hit OK. And now we'll come in here and we're going to grab, first of all, we're going to grab our section view that we created. And we'll just drag and drop that over and we'll place it right here. So there's our sections that we created. We're going to grab our head detail, single flush door, and we'll place that up here on the top. Plenty of room. And then we'll take our curtain wall, the one we just imported, and we're going to place that one just below it. And really there's not much that we need to do to this. You can see they've added some notes on this one to put things in. We've got our notes up here. We've got our notes on this one. Everything looks pretty good. The only thing we need to do now is just double click on the date, 4-23-16. And we're going to rename the author. Well, too lazy to zoom in. C.Junkins. And we'll click outside, and now we'll go ahead and do a file print. Go through this option just like we've done in the past. Qt PDF Writer. I go to Setup, see if I have any in here. There's my old setup that I had. Hit OK. Yeah, I know. And I'll show you why that's okay, because the first thing we have to do is go in and set up our paper. We want our postscripts custom size 34 by 22. Hit OK, and OK, and OK. And now we can go to our setup, select our 34 by 22, hit OK. That should work. Let's tell it where we want it to go. We want it to go into our CIE 101 home, PDF files, and it's going to be called CIE 101 Building A104. Give it a sheet name, hit save, and now we'll hit preview, see that everything is in there, and hit print. And OK. Yes, I want to replace it, because I did this video earlier and I screwed it up, so I had to go back and do it again. And we'll hit save. Yes. So now when we minimize this and go into my CIE 101 home, we have our PDF files and our A104 drawing. There you go. Let's zoom in, take a look. Everything looks pretty good on here. I got some kind of arbitrary notes. Didn't spend a lot of time on that. There's our exterior wall section and our imported head detail, curtain wall head. And there we have our head single detail for a single flush door. All in place, and you will be submitting that under the week 14 Blackboard site. And that takes care of video number 1 for week 14.